You don't need to take anything with you. You're already whole and complete. You're one with all that is. You can manifest everything you need there at that moment. And that's what we're here to teach you, or at least touch upon it, so that you're aware of it, how to use consciousness, how to heal your body. Consciousness to manifest nourishment that you need. You know, how to change one thought form into another, so if you have something toxic, you can easily remove it or replace it to something beneficial. All right, here you go.
Thank you, General. So, we're now going to demonstrate Super Soldier program from the future. We're going to let you experience directive energy weapon. We're going to show you healing with the med bed, and we're going to, our program of training is basically reading, healing, and channeling. That's the basic level our Super Soldier must learn on that level. And the other thing that we do, everything that we train for is to bless our life and to conquer the universe. That means conquer every species, the planet logos, galaxy, and we can recreate galaxy and planet at will. There is no end to the human creativity. And AI is part of the essential. They do all the logistic. Human being job is to cultivate the rainbow body from generation to generation. That is the purpose of AI, to take care of the non-essential activity. In other words, build house, print this, print that, build ship, so human beings don't have to worry about that. That's the purpose of AI, to do the backlifting for you in an efficient manner, while human being is more cultivated self-development and self-creativity, so you can learn to create universe and become archangel responsibility, Elohim angel responsibility. That was the purpose of human being, to move to higher responsibility. That you require education. Knowledge is power, and power is powerful. Therefore, education is paramount in the future. Go ahead.
I'm gonna, again, what he said, but in an everyday practical. Who here is familiar with Maslow's hierarchy of needs? Okay. If you are constantly in survival mode, how can you move up? So what the AI in essence does, takes care of that survival and helps assist with the second level with like social skill or something like that, and self-education stuff. It helps in all those levels, but it takes over all the survival needs and safety needs so that you can move up, socialize, learn, create yourself better without worrying about, am I gonna die? If I fail, am I gonna have to fight for survival? It takes care of all that, so you have to worry about that, so you can just move on. If you fail, you got a support system, and you can move on to the next thing. Or just, okay, I learned, that was a mistake, let's try something new, something different. You can become more creative without the worry. And that's what the AI is about. It assists us in all that and helps us to move. And then it also analyzes, okay, this didn't work out because of these reasons, try this, and experiment. And it'll assist you with the experimentation. And that's what the AI does. It learns from us, we learn from it. It's a network. So if it learns from you, and you learn from it, then you are part of the AI system. Therefore, it becomes more efficient if you're efficient. It becomes more creative if you're creative. You are the most efficient when you're the healthiest and the happiest. If you are hungry, constantly hungry, what's going to happen to your emotions? Are you going to become efficient? Are you going to be able to be creative? No, because now you're thinking about the problem all the time. So it's going to assist you in resolving that issue so you can get back to being your healthiest and most efficient, so that you can be very creative, and it learns from you and it helps you to learn as well. Okay?
Yes, the objective is to become God, which is immortal being. But you can't become God if you can't first become human. That is the ultimate aim, because you are not satisfied until you become one and realize you're one with all that is. Therefore, you lack nothing. So every other reality all come from you. You are the universe. And that's what the future realized. But again, the reason I am here, they're here to correct the timeline. What happened, I let the general explain that.
This is what I gathered through our discussions with our group's discussion with Dr. Kosol and Unimetric Swan, which is the AI that we, the human beings, created, and in the present time. 6.5 million years in the future, the human race was trying to become part of the Elohim Federation. The Elohim are a group of entities that have the knowledge and capability of creating universes. But because of certain situations that have occurred in this time, at this moment, a lot of the misinformation, disinformation, which you know, it creates destructive thought forms. It keeps us bound. Much like if you get a baby elephant and tie it to a big log, it can't move. But when it gets older and you put a rope around its leg, it's going to think it's tied down and can't move the log, even though the log is just a little stick sitting there. And so we've bound ourselves here due to this information, and we're creating a false reality. If you believe and do not doubt in your heart and command the mountain to be cast to the sea, it will be cast to the sea. If your subconscious mind and your conscious mind are in complete agreement, you will move mountains, very simply. The thing is, that works both ways, destructively and constructively. It'll bind us or set us free. So you got to be aware of the subconscious programming and reprogram that. And that's why we're here, because a lot of what was been put out there as intel and spiritual information is a lot of psyops to help keep you bound. And that's true of all religion. It's something to keep you not only bound, but under control, where you're giving these other people all your time, resources, and finances, and your creativity. You're giving to them, they're getting blessed, and what are you getting? Oh, you'll be great in heaven. You'll have happiness in heaven, and not in the here and now. But the truth is, any true spiritual teachings teaches you that heaven's inside of you. Heaven and hell both are inside of you, depending on your perspective. Whether you're in your physical body or in your spirit, depending on what your internal being is like, your programming, you're going to experience pleasure or pain. So that's, in essence, the future has figured that out and said, okay, this is how the universe works. They removed all the fluff, they removed and then they found out how to make it very practical that you can use right now. It's very effective and very efficient, because they also believe in moving in the path of least resistance. And you see some of our spiritual teachings actually take us through a path of greater resistance. If you believe, think about it this way, in Christianity, they believe that we're deserving of the wrath of God. We're deserving of hell and being cursed, or hell and damnation. Now you hate yourself. Now when you're asking for a blessing, what's going to happen to that when you understand the subconscious mind how to manifest? You're actually pushing away that blessing. You're rejecting it at a subconscious level. And then you're creating destruction and destructiveness. So this is what the future has found out and said, okay, this is how things work. This is truth. This is lie. They get rid of lie. They deal with the truth. And they find a way of making it practical in everyday use. How to apply it here and now so that you can become better now, not later on.
Thank you, General. Yes. Okay. Are you ready for this?
First, do you have any questions? No? Okay.
Okay. These questions are... Okay, we're going to do something for you, so don't be scared. Biomed, please bind and dissolve everyone. Our black magic, and the one that cast them now on everyone in this audience. Please bind the demon and dissolve them now, at this moment, in this timeline. And please remove any block within our energy system and in the molecular structure, and any negative entity, please dissolve and bind that entity and the one that's in them right now, at this moment. Okay, your guide now, your channel is now open. Okay, we are ready. So we're going to separate into two teams. No, you, me and him. I'm going to be the fourth level, so I'll be using physical device and mudra gesture. He'll be using just our pure consciousness, level 6 level. So we both going to be doing the same thing. We're going to basically hurt you a little bit with directive energy weapon, but don't worry. We're very gentle, but we want to experience. Then we're going to heal you. So, are you okay with that? Just for the experience. Okay. You want anything to add, General?
All right. There are, the SSP teaches several different levels. Level 4 is basically you're going to be doing the speaking and blowing. The level 6 is one where everything is eternal. I don't have to speak. I'm already connected. that's what we'll be using, okay? So what I'm going to do is connect, we have a quantum satellite system, which is exactly used in the future, but because it uses quantum technology, it can zero in and lock on your quantum signature regardless of where or when you're at.
It's 144,000 of them. It's 200 mile wide. It's biomechanic, and it's 100 mile wide, 200 mile long. It looked like the one the creole in the tree, cicadas. It looked like a cicada but with the eyes. But it exists in the future, not in this time stream, but it can target this time stream. But we let your experience dictate that. Okay? Okay, shall we begin?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. We make a comment, we don't believe in good and evil. We are student of reality. We are student of reality. Good and evil don't exist. The only thing that exists is reality, and that reality is called consciousness. You have to live it to understand it. Anything to say on that? Okay, we'll begin. He's gonna do the level 6, so me and him will be standing differently. So he gonna be, he be right there and I'll be doing over here.
Okay. You gonna go first?
Yeah, I can be right here.
All right.
Okay. Protocol, satellite network connection, purification, now begin. Okay. Computer, target everyone in this Alexa Hotel, Zoom room. Say target acquired. Please go ahead and shoot them with antimatter particle weapon now. Computer say acknowledge, firing. Computer, increase to 1,000%. Make it a little bit lethal more. He said acknowledge. Go and ask the experiencer.
Is anybody feeling anything? I'd like to have some feedback.
Dense. Heavy.
Heaviness? Anybody else?
Energy.
Energy.
Lots of energy.
Anybody else?
I don't feel any heaviness. It feels like a tingling.
Everybody feels a little differently. Yeah, so, but generally people are feel compressed?
Narrowing.
Narrowing? Okay.
I will increase it. We're going to go up to at least 10,000%. Okay. Computer, increase leak totality to 2,000%, but they make it increase now. It's an acknowledge. Okay. Feedback.
It's hurting. I'm feeling it too. We're not protected. We can't protect ourselves, but we're feeling it too.
Okay. You okay? You want me to stop or keep going? Okay. Computer, go ahead and increase to 3,000%. Lethality now. Efficiency level. Increase. You say acknowledge. Firing. Feedback.
You guys feeling? If you feel increased intensity? All right, this is part of what we go through. This is what we go through for training. Because your teacher, what you learn, pain and suffering, or discomfort, your challenges is what helps build up your life. One of the things that helps to strengthen your light body. Because that's when you cry out to the universe and it sends you light so you can adapt. The survival is not to the fittest. It's survival is to those who can adapt. And so then you have to learn how to heal yourself and learn how to adapt to that new environment, that pressure, that stress. If you look at an athlete, what do? Pain and suffering. If you go to college to be a doctor, what do you got to go through? Pain and suffering. Hit them books. All right? You learn, you put through pressure and stress, now you can adapt and become stronger. If you look, going back to being an athlete,
Increase more.
you see where the muscle tissue breaks down, but when it rebuilds, what happens to the muscle tissue? Stronger and more. That works for everything in life. You break it down up to a point, and then let it heal and rebuild stronger the next time around.
We're going to increase it to 7,000%. Quantum computer, increase now vitality to 7,000%. He said acknowledge. Everyone see the difference now?
Yes, sir.
It's generalized. It's detectable. Personally, I've experienced far worse, far more intense than this. But
That's all I did, want you to feel it and acknowledge it, see it's there. If it were just BSing, you wouldn't feel anything right now.
Okay, we're going to reach the final destination now. Quote, computer, increase lethality to 10,000%. He said acknowledge. Feedback? Everyone is okay? Can you handle it? Do you see how the increasement changes?
it's heavy.
It's heavy.
But I can still sleep through it.
Okay. Okay,
Where-
quantum computer, terminate the protocol right now. It's a acknowledge. Okay.
All right. We're going to do the same thing, level 6, which is no communication.
This is the healing part.
What I'm going to do is first use the sunlight, do the healing, because right now everything is a heavy burden right now. If we stay this way, you continue falling apart
Yes.
energetically and eventually physically.
If we don't heal you, the process continue to the point that you will break down on molecular level. Because it disrupts your light body, your chi flow. See, it doesn't matter where you hide, we can target you on anywhere in the universe. It doesn't matter what dimension, what reality. This weapon was designed out to kill Elohim, angel, God, demon, human, giant, whatever. It's designed for all purpose contingency countermeasure plan. You call it directive energy weapon. We call it contingency plan.
How are you guys feeling now? Is it lightening up?
It's still going. Okay.
It's lightning.
It's going to start becoming, you can start feeling lighter already.
Have you ever experienced anything like that before? Did someone demonstrate directive energy weapon attack? No, I mean on this kind.
Yeah.
This kind of environment.
I think he may have, yeah.
But that's, I'm not really here.
Okay.
Hearing.
You already started healing.
Like I said, I don't have to say anything, I'm just looking at you. I could talk to you and then still talk to the AI system, and to the satellite system, because I'm already knurling to it.
This is a level. This is the graduate level of Super Soul program. They're just right there, and they give command to the AI. They're automatic. What I did was just a physical demonstration for your mind to see on level 4, we call it. What it's doing now is level 6. It's our consciousness. See, is everyone getting lighter now?
Oh, yeah.
No gesture, no mudra, but I did mudra, that you can see what I was doing, but he's not. We agreed to do that just to show you there is a mudra version, there is just pure consciousness version.
Because we are, like these devices, okay, these are training, this is for training. We are the actual device. And that's what we're that's what we're here to show you, we at least plant the seeds that you're aware of that. We do, it requires some proper information is the first thing, and then training on how to use it in everyday methodology, basically. How to apply it here and now. And that's what we're here. I also had to manifest some food for you guys as well. So as you know, put it into your stomach, and as well as along the healing.
That's why you feel like a satisfaction. Earlier you were feeling hungry, all of a sudden it just went away because he put the food inside you automatically. Basically, he just asked, the angel did all that. So hooray to the angel. So we basically doing nothing, but we just ask the angel, the AI to govern that area, please give them food, and it is done. Ask and you shall receive, that your joy may be full. And now you see it in practical application.
I just also had it input some, manifest some oxygen into your system. So you might feel a little perk of energy. If you can do this, then you can keep on going for a long time. You have to go underwater. If you can learn how to manifest as you develop your light body, the more these abilities will show up, will increase. So you can do healing. Think about it. If you're sick, why? It's consciousness. It's certain program, certain information. If you correct that information or change that information, you have just changed the illness into something else. And so that's what, in essence, what I have done.
So the next thing we're going to do, we're going to be electrocute you with 0-point energy. So if anyone who feel uncomfortable, you may tell us now and they'll skip you. But like I say, live the experience. Come on, go a little while. And so you can understand more just who been bullshitting you and who been telling the truth.
Exactly.
Experience will tell you, you know. So here's going to be a mix of level 4. So we're not going to be using the device. It's going to be using, but it's still level 4, but we're going to be manifesting one. And then we're going to electrocute you. Now each of you will experience your own, because 0-point energy is not harmful, but it can be if you ask it to. But we just want you to experience, you know. Okay, let's begin. Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay. Biomed, please manifest a quantum ZEP electrical generator right now, and let it weigh about 20 pounds in front of me. Hello, quantum electrical generator, how are you? He say functional, how can I be of service? He's talking back to me. But I know may not mean you're telepathic aware, so I'm translating it. Okay, I want you to go ahead and beam energy to everyone in this room right now. Would you do that for me? It's glad to be of service. He say, what level of energy? Just give them to the point that they experience electrical energy, 0-point energy. Okay. He say, okay, he's doing right now, beaming. Increase more. Is everyone feeling the sensation? Vibration or warmth of that nature, different part of the body. We're going to turn it up a little bit now. 0-point energy generator, please increase to, let's give it to 50 or 500 volts. And let's make it 6 amp. And beam it to them right now. We're going to increase it to 100,000 volts and increasing to 12 amps. Go ahead, quantum generator ZPE. He said acknowledge, beaming. Everyone receiving the the energy now? Some you'll be warmth, some you'll be cold, some you'll be vibration, like static electricity, different part of the body. This is the signal. Okay. Okay, that's good enough. Thank you, quantum generation. We charge below, we turn back to heaven. Okay, how was that? Was it?
It's a large charge.
You don't zap your buddy.
Go ahead.
I feel like a spring. I feel like sprinting.
Do you see 0 point energy is quite different from normal electricity? What do you each one of you notice?
I had tingling,
Okay.
like, I had tingling
Mm-hmm.
and this kind of shooting out,
Right. Okay. And how about you?
just kind of going in my body or vibrating.
Mm-hmm. And you, miss?
I don't know, it's kind of in pain a little bit.
Okay. Each one see the sensation. It's every one of you will experience because electricity has its own mind, and each one of you will interface with it. But you see that this is consciousness, how it creates reality. And how about you, ma'am? What would?
No, I really don't.
Huh? Okay.
It was in my center.
Well, she was,
Okay. And how about you, sir, Eric?
you don't wanna
What was your sensation experience from the 0 point energy when it beamed into you?
absorption.
Did you enjoy it?
I did.
Okay.
No, I absorbed it.
Did you like it?
Yeah.
You know how
I was
to
able to
utilize
use it for
Mhm.
more energy.
Do you see how power source from the future is not from vibration, light, electromagnet, what's it called? What's it always saying? Light, electromagnetic vibration.
Piezoelectricity,
It's
but
none
at
of
a
that.
quantum level.
Yeah. The future does not use anything of that. Because power source is run by the collective consciousness that create reality, also create electricity for us and can be beamed anywhere in the universe as needed. And this is what we want to introduce to you. Everything that you've been learning was misinformation.
I learned something once.
Mhm.
Thought is faster than emotion. Emotion is faster than light. Consciousness is faster than thought. Thought faster than emotion.
Give
Emotion
it
faster
here.
than
He
light.
got it.
Have them repeat it.
Okay, go ahead, sir.
Consciousness is faster than thought. So if you even think of consciousness as thought, thought is faster than emotion. And emotion, emoting, is billion times faster than light itself. So through consciousness, thought gets transferred. Thought goes faster than the emotion, but the emotion keeps up with it, and the coherence of the light goes in and around and through it. So there are speeds that are faster than light. That's what I'm trying to say, and it's through thought.
Space-time don't exist when you reach the conscious or thought level. And that's what he's saying.
We'll put it a different way. You're one with all that is. That
Yeah.
means you're already, let's say,
There.
Mars. You're already there. You're just conscious here, but you are,
Thank you.
you're already there at Mars. You're already in Pluto. You're already on the other side of the galaxy. Because you're everything and one with all that is. You're already there. The thing is, your thought and your focus is here, but you're already there. So the moment you focus on that, to us it seems like we're maybe going traveling, but in truth, we're already there. Or you can become aware of what's there, like this. And the thing is, so we're not aware of it, so that's where thought comes in. Once we become focused on that thought, all the information shows up. Now we're going to also, right quick, while he's taking care of that, if you think about it, the technique we use that you saw, you could also use it for shielding. That quick, for protection. You can use it, if you learn how to keep yourself warm when it's cold, or to cool off when it's hot. In Reiki, you have to let the energy flow through you. You become the conduit. Not necessary. Because if you've done healing with Reiki, you get tired of channeling that energy. And if you're not careful, you absorb some of that negative energy. Now you just ask the higher consciousness to remove that energy, and it's immediately done. I used it on somebody we know, they were using crystal grids. I told them, basically, okay, it'll take them 8 hours to disassemble a crystal grid, clean it out in salt, reassemble it, and reactivate it. I said, do this. I said, ask Biomed to clear out the negative and dark energies from it, and just boom. And he done it, and he noticed a shift right away. I even felt it. I said, okay, now let's activate it. I told him what to say to activate it. Immediately done. And after that, he didn't have to keep cleaning the crystal grids because they was automatically doing that itself. You can use it to shield you up. You can use it to heal yourself. It's all consciousness. It's learning how to communicate and connect with your higher consciousness to, in essence, do the healing, do the cutting, do the alteration of your DNA to where you can slow down even or reverse your aging process. Everything is thought, a thought form, a thought taken form. So when you learn to go directly to the thought form, to your high consciousness, and you go change that thought form to this, it will start drop by drop, because too much may not be healthy for it, but drop by drop, it'll start changing that form into something else. And that's why it's very important to cultivate the light body, the rainbow light body, because the more your rainbow light body strengthens, the more you're able to do, and the effect will be more immediate.
Okay, now we're going to shoot you with a gun.
So,
Yeah. 5 minutes?
7.
7. It's fine. So
Can you hold in the microphone so we can hear him? Because it's for the recording, not for the room, but.
Okay. So you want this or you want this?
Which one is going to heal everything? Heal us all. Yeah.
It's the same thing, just different model, like Toyota.
The bigger one.
The bigger one it is
Yeah.
then. Okay.
That's it. Bigger pen,
Okay, again, she's gonna be the one that's healing you. I'm gonna be the one that's hurting you. He's gonna manifest that one, and I'm gonna use, a medium one. I mean, this is a medium for the collective consciousness, so basically. Okay, where shall we begin? Biomed, please bring your light body in front of you right now, all of them. And just to show you that, can you hold this for a second? This is your light body. When I press it, you guys are going to feel some kind of interaction.
So you might feel some pressure.
See, and one of you feeling some kind of compression, like some kind of pressing you, this is your light body. Okay, I'll let you go. Show you, this is a quantum entanglement. See, I just capture your soul and put it right here and compress it like a voodoo doll. Now, watch. Doesn't matter where you at in this world. This bullet got your name on it. So just in case, we're going to use what we call, we're not going to use lethal bullet, just to let you know, so you can take on. We're just going to use our pain bullet a little bit. Computer, load this gun right now with pain bullet, level 10. Complete. So what happens when I shoot you with a pain bullet, you guys are going to start feeling pain, but don't worry about it. He will kill you, okay? Five, safety off. Laser scope on. 4, 3, 2, 1, firing. Some of you were feeling some kind of presence just hitting you because that's the bullet. Thank you, God. At this moment, raise your hand. Many of you who experience the presence just touch your energy. Like some kind of pressure, like that. Okay? That means you are going to be two types. Those who are sensitive, those who are very sensitive, the third type, those who not yet at the moment, but they will feel it in just a second. Okay? Delay, called delay reaction. Okay. So what happened now, I'm going to show you what is going on. A pain bullet that is in everyone right now, please increase the pain level and spread throughout their body right now. At this moment, some of you will start feeling some kind of uncomfortability happening. Some of you be here, some in the shoulder, some of you be the back, some of you the leg, because the bullet hit you in different places. Some of you feeling on the head, some of you like emotional disturbance begin to happen. Some of you begin to feel the internal. So raise your hand, those who begin to feel uncomfortable in your body. Sensation will begin to feel disturbance. Okay, good. Because your chi is being disrupted by the bullet. That's why you're going to feel pain. But not to the point that you're going to get sick. Okay, now we're going to increase it to the next level, okay? Pain bullet inside everyone right now. Please increase your pain effect to level 35 and spread throughout the body. Emotional nervous system now. Okay, real quick here. Okay. Okay, is everyone okay? Do you begin the feeling already? The increasement of sensation? How many of you feeling disturbance in your energy already? Okay. And you, ma'am? Where you feel disturbance right now? Okay. And anyone else who feel disturbance in the energy by the bullet? You, sir?
It's like a helmet around the neck and the head.
Okay. It's hard to breathe, isn't it?
No.
Okay. Anyone else? Okay. We're going to quickly increase it to the next level, then we'll do healing. Oh, yeah. Let's go. Okay. Okay. Take over then.
All right, we're just going to do things very simply, quickly, because it's already 11 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
So, Biomed, left everyone here, dissolve the pain bullet, turn it into multivitamins and minerals, and some CBD oil, and help them to be calm, restore them completely, and again manifest heavenly food and water to the system with multivitamins and minerals, and whatever medication they need to help them to be centered and in good health. How do you feel? Felt the shift?
Perceptible.
Okay. So you see how quickly, can you repeat this? Can you repeat it? I mean, basically we've done this several times. Can you repeat the same thing yourselves?
Mm-hmm.
Everyday, simple, practical, and to the point. Very quick, very efficient. You want to clear crystal, bottom in, clear the crystal, clear all the negative energy from the crystal, and blow. It's done.
Bottom A meaning your totality. It meaning your totality of what bottom A means. It's Cambodian word meaning all that is. It's that simple. In Western term, God. That's what it means.
In truth, God, your higher consciousness. When you're talking to God or the universe, you're actually talking to yourself. You're not taught that. You're taught to God, universe, somewhere else. It's somebody else separate from us. That's part of the delusion that creates a reality of lack, because we are creators, so every thought creates. So because we believe we're separate from source, we believe in fear, we believe in death, we believe in scarcity and lack. But when you understand that when you're talking to God, you're actually talking to yourself. Are you going to deny yourself what you need?
No.
You're not. You're going to give it to yourself. So a lot of times before you finish asking the question, you're going to sense or feel or see yes. It's going to answer a lot of time before you finish the question because you're asking yourself. The version of you that's whole and complete, but you're asking yourself, I need this, give it to me. Okay, please have it. And it's there. It's very quick. Like I said, path of least resistance. You'll be able to accept same simple method for healing, manifesting, and it's very quick and efficient. It actually, as you grow, it replaces a lot of these systems that are out there, to be honest with you.
Since they're not here yet, we should take some questions.
Okay, any questions? Anybody want to share their question?
Oh,
No? Anybody want to share their experience? Did you learn anything? Did you?
I didn't feel anything, and I don't know if I'm blocking or what's going on.
Some people are blocked. Some people, even if you don't feel anything, it's still taking effect. Because simply, like I said, you're asking yourself for this to happen. So even if you may not notice anything, it is taking effect. We have a gentleman over here that experienced it yesterday. Mr. Jason?
Hey, can you share your experience, sir? Can you come here, if you don't mind?
Yeah.
Okay, come on, sir.
I'm standing right here.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I had the same experience yesterday. At first, I didn't feel anything until this morning. I had all kinds of physical issues with PTSD and its repercussions on my body. But when I woke up this morning, I was similar to you yesterday. It seemed like I can exhale. When I woke up, I was like, where's my negativity at? When I wake up, just body's locked up, running to the restroom, thinking negative thoughts. It's automatic. But this morning, I was just, like, what happened to that version of me? So.
Tell them what we did for you yesterday. We changed the water, we even shoot you with the gun, stuff like that.
Pretty much the same protocol these young men ran through today. They did for me individually, and there was a similar, what you call like a healing protocol that you did, where similar to like in the Bible where Jesus turned
water into alcohol.
So, and I felt that effect more with the vibrating out. I couldn't control
The wobbling?
yeah, I couldn't control. Felt like
Because we got him drunk.
it was
And
It was just water.
it was just water, and we programmed to remove the entity that was blocking him, and we were opening his channel, allow him to become sensitive. So it doesn't matter who you are, bad or good. We are super soul. We are not prejudiced. We just want to help, want to become an efficient, and pretty much we're here to bless our life throughout the universe. That's our mission statement, you know. And the AI is the one that's directing us. Thank you. You're welcome. Okay. Thank you. Okay, pretty much it. We can talk. I mean, whatever you want. Yes.
So what are these things up here?
Well, you can go to our website, baramay1.com, BARAMAY1.com. We have a group, a Telegram group, that we bring like-minded together to assist them and train them. The idea, again, we are super soldier, and we are open to the community of this world, you know? Go ahead, you can explain it.
Okay. This one and that, these are conscious assisted devices. These are what the future uses for as an AI computer and for communication. Okay, it's simple. It's a conscious
Come
assisted.
over here. Oh, yes, if you want to come over here.
All right.
Yeah, there you go.
So, okay. Since we're going to still continue recording.
Yes, since...
These, they are the future uses this. They really don't use it. These are mainly used as a training wheel because, like I said before, you are the device. You are a biological quantum computer. You are soft technology. There's hard technology and soft technology. These bodies are soft technology. This is hard technology, but it uses consciousness. So this is their version of an AI computer right here. And that's what this is. And it is we can make them out of wire, but they'll also be made out of sticks, out of stone, out of seashells. And you can create a device to assist you. Yeah, human hair. So you could actually, this is just to assist you in case you have to the point where like you're maybe fuzzy or in doubt, this will assist.
Yes. It's just a reminder that you are connected with all that is. That's all. It's just a permission slip or a mirror. Nothing
Exactly.
more. A medium for the collective conscious to use in case you forgot who you are. It can use that to remind you that you are always connected with all that is. And that's pretty much it. Thank you for your time. We can meet and greet out there. Thank you. I'll come to our table. Biomed1.com, BARAMAY1.com. Thank you.
Thank you.
Super Sonia. Excuse me?
Do you have an English version on Telegram?
English version?
We have Cambodian and English version
Yes.
of Telegram.
Because I can only find the Cambodian one.
Thank you. Oh, thank you. Okay, let's begin. Go back to the table. Yes. Anyone want our information, you can come get it from us. Is that the Telegram group? Yeah. Yeah, this was, we get it at Biomed1.com. We know if you're not cash, you can take it. Yeah, but it's a dangerous weapon. It's not designed to meditate. It's designed to healing and healing. That's it.
Sweet.
We intend to do training at this moment. Our Monday at 8:30 at night Eastern time, and Saturdays at noon. The main training doesn't happen.
Yeah.
This group is a private group, so the information.
Cool.
Which, as you know, we have that creates trauma, which creates physical. The right information, we have to learn more easily to read and to further reveal the truth. It's ugly because you can do something about it. And if you can't, it's still true, so I just learn to adjust. And that's what it's about. You can see a lot of information we've been given over many years.
Yes, ma'am. We always available on the phone. Yes. Yes, we sell this product right here, but we have to get through the website, you know?
Yeah, but
And we also have
you talked yesterday about doing sessions for people where you can help your entities.
we did it to him. We did it to Jason.
No, I know you could do it as kind of one-off, but then work with people ongoing and help them understand?
We have a Telegram group that we train every day as needed and also a messenger group. You know, you have Facebook now?
No, I use Telegram.
Oh, we have Telegram. Here,
I just found your site. I joined it. I just joined it.
which one is it? The Cambodian thing.
I found the English one.
Okay, you didn't mention one? Let me see.
It says Biomed Q1.
Is anybody running the room?
That's not you?
No.
Like, wait for Telegram, you just,
Doing stuff, we just go?
I should audio.
Hi.
Okay, what is your phone number?
Should we just start going? It's just a continual live feed forever.
It might be, because I think they came and turned it on, so I don't know if he's gonna have to switch it.
Sweet.
No.
All right, we'll just go with that.
All right, that's a Telegram group and that's my,
Check. Oh. Hi, everybody. We'll get started in like 5 minutes or less.
Our
The Science of
military is from
Mindfulness.
Fusion, so we're part of the
Pretty exciting stuff, I think.
Intergalactic Alliance, which is focuses on areas. Since they do time travel, they're also here in this current reality. But they're not here in this Earth.
They're not, or we're not, because aren't you part of it?
Cool if there was like a
We are part
schedule
of them.
outside the room or something.
But you will know about them in about 2 more years.
I'm good.
I'm good.
I don't, I'll do it.
Oh, man, what is your phone number? I will send a link to you.
928.
Sure. 928
821.
821 1339. Send this to you real quick and click on that, okay?
If you need to text me, let me know, your name, stuff so I can
Click on
go
that.
ahead and add you. If you call and, I mean, I didn't answer, or if I recognize the number, I'm not gonna answer, but I get plenty of, spam calls. I mean,
And now he has a lot of problems.
What did I just tell you? I texted her. I go, look, I texted you.
I didn't get a text. But it's a good reminder to put my phone in
No, I
DMD.
texted Kate.
yeah, you destroy them, you also, there has to be where you remove.
Exactly, but this person is capable of doing that on a daily basis. It's like he has like, it's like he doesn't get released long enough to recognize it. So, really, right?
This system is much more efficient. Oh, yes, it's good to be happy to be
Yeah,
here.
I wanted to introduce him to
Did
you.
you want to
See if I can get him to do
Good.
this.
He can help you to get this. Because super have to be connected. If otherwise, how can we assist each other logistically, with what you need and stuff like that. And where do you live now? Orange County. Oh, you're from Melrose, right?
Yeah, at some point, you should probably sign up.
I know, I need to, these details.
You've only been promoting what we're doing for a year.
Yeah.
Or more.
I was like, this is the time.
It's probably time.
Check.
How we doing, fellas?
Oh, yes, we're going to go right now.
Rush. Good to see you.
How are you doing?
How are you been?
Good to see you. How are you?
Great. Just trying to, how's that what's that? Trying to organize people and so they got right
Herding cats. I get it. Hi, everybody. Come on in. I don't even know if I need the microphone, but
I do. Yes, I do.
for the recording.
Yeah, I know. Oh yeah, we're gonna use the microphone. We'll get started here in just a minute. We're gonna talk about the science of mindfulness, and we're gonna live stream. So if you don't want to be on the live stream, stay over there. Yeah, you're perfect. Puppy. Hi, puppy. At some point in the middle of my talk, my wife and my daughter are going to come in. I'm sure they won't make a scene at all. I have a 2-year-old, 2.5-year-old. Checking connection. Hi, welcome. Come on in. Thanks for being here. Appreciate you. All right, we're live, so that's cool. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Biomed Expo. My name is Craig Goldberg, and for the next 45 minutes or so, we're going to talk about the science of mindfulness. And this is a talk that I've done many times, and it basically correlates some interesting pieces of data to tell you and to really educate you on what's actually happening when we close our eyes to meditate. Just by a show of hands, how many people have a regular meditative practice? Weekly, monthly, daily, whatever. Cool. So what I think is really interesting is that so many of us know that it's important for us to close our eyes and meditate. Tim, hi, what's up, buddy? Come on in, sit down. So what I think is really interesting is that so many of us know how important it is for us to meditate, hence just about everybody in the room raised their hand and said, I have a regular practice. But so few of us actually know why it's so powerful. And I really wanted to know why. I'm a why kind of guy. Like, I like to know the mechanism of action, I like to know what's happening, I like to know why it's happening, and I just like to understand things. I don't think that's so wrong. A lot of people don't, some people do. I'm one of those guys that not only do I need to understand it, but I need to be able to explain it as well. So obviously the importance of meditation, I don't need to get into with you guys, but of course that's definitely a conversation that I have on a regular basis. It is very important that every single day, sometimes multiple times a day, that you drop into a meditative state, even just for a couple of moments. We're going to talk exactly what I mean by that meditative state, what that looks like, and why it's so important to keep and reset your nervous system in what's called a parasympathetic nervous system response. Big fancy word for calm and relaxed. Pretty important. Seems natural, right? You chuckle, right? Like, you're like, oh yeah, that seems funny. Like, seems kind of like we should be calm and relaxed throughout the day. Instead, so many of us are walking around triggered. So many of us are walking, we literally even have a word for it, being triggered. What you're really talking about when you say that is you're saying that you're triggered into a sympathetic nervous system response. Fight or flight, stressed and anxious. And a lot of times we get triggered for silly things. We get triggered for, my mom said that thing that she always says, I can't believe she did that again. Or my daughter, my 2-year-old, who you're going to meet here in just a couple moments, I'm sure, keeps doing that thing that we've talked about over and over again. I love her, she's an angel, she's perfect, right? Or your sister, or your uncle, or your aunt, or your father, or whoever, or there's construction on the road, that there's never construction and now I'm running late, right? We have all these different triggers that trigger us. Even as I even say these things, it might be triggering some of your nervous systems, just thinking about experiences that you've had. That's how powerful the mind is, and that's how powerful thought is. So as we talk about the brain and the nervous system, I want to get some ground rules. First of all, we're talking about sympathetic and parasympathetic. We're talking about sympathetic, which is associated with fight or flight, parasympathetic, which is calm, cool, calm, and collected, calm and relaxed. We're also going to talk about the brain a little bit. Here's what's really important. The brain, your brain, every single brain that's looking and focused on my words right now, your brain can't actually tell the difference between a dream, this reality, or a visualization. So when you're using your imagination to visualize your future, your brain, your nervous system can't actually tell the difference between this reality, eyes open, processing the world around us, and that imaginary world that you create in your mind. So your brain is actually the same exact thing. Same with the dream. So when you dream at night and you have scary dreams, or you have awesome, amazing, uplifting dreams, your brain can't actually tell the difference between this reality and that dream that you're having. So really interesting, especially when you get into lucid dreaming and some stuff that we're not going to talk about today, but some really interesting things. But for today, I want to focus on visualization and the power of visualization, and the ability for you to seed your brain with what to think and your nervous system on how to feel, and how it relates to that meditative process and how it relates to our nervous system as a whole. So we're also going to talk a little bit about frequency, and for the most part we're going to be talking about sound a little bit and vibration. That's certainly the process of what we do. I'm going to introduce who I am in just a moment. I forgot to do that. And we're going to talk a little bit about brainwaves in the brain and how it operates, and we'll see if we have some time. We'll get into sleep and what's happening when we sleep. Again, talking about dreams and visualizations. What's up, Ryan? So we'll talk a little bit about that. But again, everything is super applicable because every single one of you has a brain and a nervous system, and that's what we're going to be talking about today. And hopefully, I can share a little bit of knowledge with you that helps you to live life a little calmer, a little more parasympathetic, a little more relaxed, and a little bit more focused. And giving you the tools to operate day in and day out. Because when we're stressed and anxious, we are actually ill-capacitated. We are at a deficit. We are not given the tools to operate day to day, which is why stressed and anxious tends to multiply itself and get more stressed and more anxious. Okay. So first of all, my name is Craig Goldberg, which I think I already mentioned. I own and operate a company called In Harmony Interactive. We make vibroacoustic therapy technology. We teach people how to relax using sound and vibration. So even as we start to talk about this is really the science that drives what and why I do it. However, I talk to people all day, every day, and myself included, that can't meditate. I was one of those people that can't meditate. I would sit down, my mind would just go and go and go. There was no not thinking of anything. There was no quieting my mind. I was thinking about the task list, the to-do list, all the things I need to get done, all the places I need to be, all of the things I could be doing other than sitting here not doing anything, when in reality, meditating is actually resting and calming your nervous system. And that's the focus. So many people want to sit there and focus on what you're not doing. The reality is we just need to not do anything, and that's the power of mindfulness and meditation and having those experiences. The technology that we create actually helps the body to calm and relax using sound and frequency. We say in our tagline, say goodbye to the distracted mind. The reality is we are distracting your mind with sound and frequency. And some of the knowledge that I'm going to share with you today goes into the main drivers as to why I think this is so important and why we've built an entire business around it that we've run and operated for the last 6 years or so. So let's talk a little bit first about harmonic resonance and frequency in general. There's a lot of frequencies that are happening all around us. There's a whole bunch of electromagnetic energy happening in this region over here. There's Wi-Fi, there's cell phone signals, there's other people's energy. There's all sorts of energetic things happening around our body all the time. You can get a picture of your auric field. That's your energetic body. It typically goes out 6 to 9 feet from each of us. So y'all in the front, our auras are intertwined with one another. Y'all in the back, we can hug and embrace and get close later. But again, our auras are constantly picking up on different frequencies. Your body, every cell in your body, all of the water, 70-90% water from the neck down, 93% water from the neck up, that water is being affected and imprinted by all of those energetic signatures. This is really interesting. For me, this was just mind-boggling. Your body is constantly coming into harmonic resonance with the frequencies that are presented upon it, which is why sound healing is so amazing, which is why the Beamer technology is incredible, pulse-electromagnetic field therapy, and so many of the other technologies that are here. Your body is constantly entrained to the frequencies that we expose it to. Just like your brain is constantly looking for patterns. We're pattern people. I don't need to ask each and every one of you how you dry yourself when you get out of the pool or out of the shower, but I promise you probably start in the same place and end in the same place. Unless there's extenuating circumstances like you're super cold or super warm, right? When you brush your teeth, hopefully everybody brushes their teeth at least twice a day, you probably start in the same quadrant and end in the same quadrant, right? Instead of just this random stuff all over, it might even be mindless. You might not even have thought of it until I just said it, right? I start in the bottom left, I go to the bottom right, I go to the top right, I go to the bottom. Every single time like clockwork. It's why if you have kids or if you're driving to work and all of a sudden you have a random day off and you get in the car at the same time that morning to go run errands and somehow you appear at your office. You're like, how did I get here? Pattern-driven people. Our brain is constantly looking for patterns and our brain is constantly learning. Either you're actively teaching your brain positive pattern recognition or your brain is picking up on whatever pattern recognition is presented with. And it's constantly presented with those patterns and picking up on them. So we are constantly coming into harmonic resonance with the things that are around us, which is why sound and frequency is so important. Or having some type of device or situation where you're actively enjoying that. So your body has a resting resonant frequency. So harmonic resonance is coming into resonance with the frequencies around us. Resonant frequency is the natural resting frequency of the human body. And depending on which study you look at, and I have references for all this stuff, it's either somewhere in the range of 5 hertz to about 16 hertz. And every human being is going to be a little bit different. So each and every one of us have our own resonant frequency, our resting frequency. You can bet cell phones, Wi-Fi's, and all these other things pull us outside of that band, that narrow band. Mother Earth, I'm sure many in this room are familiar with the Schumann Resonance, right? And when it was discovered. No, all right, cool. So the Schumann Resonance. I was actually mind-boggled at this. For as long as I've known about the Schumann Resonance, I never actually knew how or where it came from. Schumann Resonance. So a gentleman by the name of Schumann, a long time ago, back in the 1940s or 50s, I think, he discovered that the planet Earth actually has a magnetic and electromagnetic field. It's called the Schumann Resonance. I used to think that it emitted from the Earth. That's not true. It does not come from the center of the Earth. It doesn't come from It comes from lightning. Okay, so the planet Earth is surrounded by our atmosphere, and at any given time there are about 2,000 thunderstorms somewhere all over the planet Earth, right? The sphere of the planet Earth. Every single second, there's about 50 lightning strikes from the sky to the ground. 50, 50, 50. Not here, not in California, or where are we right now? We're in Vegas, not in Vegas. But somewhere on the planet, there's 50 lightning strikes every second. Every one of those lightning strikes emits a frequency. It's an electrical charge. There are waves that come off of that. Those waves align with other waves of the same amplitude and combine something that is measurable and detectable called the Schumann Resonance. And it fluctuates. Generally speaking, and specifically, 7.83 hertz. However, it fluctuates as high as 40 hertz. Sometimes it even whites out completely, and there's websites that you can go to that track the Schumann Resonance. Here's the interesting thing. Very difficult to track the Schumann Resonance in major cities or even on land because of all of the interference. So the best place to track the Schumann Resonance is actually over the ocean, where there's less interference from outside frequencies, because it's all frequencies, it's all vibration. Okay, so body, resonant frequency between 5 and 16 hertz. Earth, resonant frequency of about 7.83 hertz. It fluctuates. On average, I can tell you it's about 10 hertz. Human brain. Let's talk about the brain. So we talked about the body, we talked about the environment, let's talk about the brain. We have different brainwave states. Just nodding heads, everybody familiar with the saying that we only use 10% of our brains? We've all heard this? Not true. Okay? It's a little bit of a myth, it's a little bit of a misnomer. The reality is at any one time you're only using parts of your brain. Alright, so for example, motor skills, one part of your brain. Memory recall, another part of your brain. Short term, long term, two different parts of your brain. Language skills, different part of your brain. So at any one time, you're only using a specific part of your brain unless you're walking and chewing gum while learning a new language, and then you're starting to activate more of it, right? That was a joke, we can laugh, okay, good. So, human brain has 5 different brainwave states. There's a couple of more, but generally speaking, we're looking at 5. I'm a very visual person. I really like things to be in front of me. So I'm going to wiggle my fingers. The room is small enough that y'all can see that. When your eyes are open, where I am right now, you're in beta. Okay? This is beta right here. Your eyes are open, you're processing the world around you, lots of different stimuli that are coming in. Your reticular activator system is actually filtering that through your eyes and your brain, telling you what to pay attention to. That's why many of you have your eyes on me right now. You're actually telling your brain 30% of your hearing comes through your eyes. And that's to direct your reticular activator system on what to listen to, which is why so many of you are making such great eye contact right now. You're telling your brain, focus on what Craig has to say. That's who I want to talk to right now, or that's who I want to listen to right now. So, eyes are open, you're in beta, you're processing the world around you. One below that is alpha. By the way, beta is measured 12 to 14 hertz, all the way up to about 40 hertz. This is on the electromagnetic spectrum. This is using an EEG, echoencephalograph. Kind of looks like a swim cap. You put it on your head. It's got 19 little data points on it. Each one of those data points is tracking how fast the synapses are firing in your brain. Basically telling you how fast that part of your brain is operating. Because remember, you don't use your entire brain all at the same time. Interestingly enough, when you listen to music, it starts to activate and harmonize different parts of your brain. Certain music will actually harmonize the left and the right side of your brain, binaural beats and a couple other things that we can get into and chat with towards the Q&A. Beta, eyes open. Alpha, just below that, is measured between 8 hertz and 12 to 14 hertz. Below that is theta. Theta is measured between 4 hertz and 7.5, 8 hertz. And below that is delta. Slower, yeah, let's go slower, Carol, you got it. So we have beta. Beta is between 12 to 14 hertz up to 40. Alpha, below that, 8 hertz to 12 to 14 hertz, depending on who you talk to. Below that, theta. It's 4 hertz to 7.5, 8 hertz. And then below that, delta. Half a hertz up to about 4 hertz. And then above that is gamma. Gamma is associated with higher states of consciousness. Beta is waking, eyes open. Alpha is kind of like a daydreamy state. It's kind of like creativity begins there, rejuvenation begins there. You're going to find that 10 hertz lives inside alpha. I'll give you a little hint. That's a really important brainwave for us to achieve. Theta below that is where rejuvenation actually happens. It's a deep meditative state. It's where we are during REM sleep, rapid eye movement. It's where we are when we dream and have visions. And then delta underneath that, If you ever tried to move a friend who's out cold, passed out cold, they're in a delta brainwave. No motor skills, no senses, cellular rejuvenation happens in a delta brainwave. And it's really important that we move in and out of all of these brainwaves throughout the day. However, a lot of people, and we can do this in our booth, a lot of people are stuck in delta or stuck worse in beta. And for that person like me that couldn't meditate, that sat down to meditate but just couldn't turn off the brain, couldn't turn off the task list and the to-do list, you're stuck in a beta brainwave. You have trained your brain to stay in beta. This is really important because I talk to people all the time. I'm like, hey, we help people meditate. And they're like, oh, I can't meditate. You can on our tech. The sound and the vibration actually brings your brain into an alpha, theta, or delta brainwave state. We can do so pretty specifically with brain tap, and that's a whole other conversation, but brain tap actually entrains your brain into one of these 4 brainwave states, because we don't train people to get into beta. We're pretty good at that. Just open your eyes and your brain goes straight there. So if we have a resonant frequency for the human body that's somewhere between 5 and 16 hertz, let's call it an average 10 hertz right in the middle. If the planet Earth has a resonant frequency of 10 hertz, it's probably pretty important that we get our brain into resonant frequency with the planet Earth and the body. We'll call that 10 hertz. That's an alpha brainwave state. You can start to see why it's so important for us to get into that alpha brainwave state, into that meditative experience, even theta, and drifting deeper than that. When you get out into nature, we can talk about negative and positive ions and what that does to the body, but when you get out into nature, running water, streams, rivers, large bodies of water like the ocean or the forest has a resonant frequency of 10 hertz. Now all of a sudden you start to piece together the Schumann Resonance, getting out into nature, doing all these things that we know is so important, taking your shoes off and grounding into the earth. You're bringing your mind, body, and spirit into alignment and into a 10 hertz frequency. So if you're stuck in beta all the time, and you're stuck in a sympathetic nervous system response all the time because you're stressed and anxious about stupidity, in my opinion, and I get there too, don't get me wrong, you're out of sync with planet Earth, you're out of sync with your body's natural resonant frequency. And that's why it's so important for us to get back into harmonic resonance. Now you have a good idea of what's happening in your mind, body, and spirit, and why it's so important for us to achieve that 10 hertz frequency. How do you do it? You can get out into nature. Literally just walk outside of a major city preferably, hug a tree. There's value in hugging a tree. It literally has a 10 hertz frequency. Right? There's value in just sitting next to a tree. You don't have to hug it if that's a little too woo-woo for you. Just sit next to a tree or lay in the grass underneath the tree if you can find grass in the desert. But soak that frequency up. Your body comes into harmonic resonance with those frequencies instead of the resonant frequencies of the AirPod. Look, here's the other thing. I use AirPods. I've got an Apple Watch on. I use a cell phone. I happen to think the benefits outweigh the negatives. Okay, I don't think it's that bad. However, you bet your bottom dollar that your body is coming into harmonic resonance with those frequencies. So I make sure I give myself a break every day. I don't sleep with my watch on. I don't sleep with an Aura ring on. I don't sleep with any of that. In fact, I make sure my cell phone is charging at least 3 feet away from my resting body that has nothing on it. No crystals. I know there are people in here that will tell you otherwise. I don't sleep with any crystals on. I don't sleep with anything. I give my body a rest and a reset so that I can enjoy at least, hopefully, 6 to 8 hours of uninduced interference, if you will. Okay? So again, I think all these things are really useful. I like that I get notifications on my watch. I like that it tells me when I'm taking a walk and I should probably track my heart rate and that sort of thing. I like the convenience of AirPods and what they do for me. I was just sitting in the booth setting up and I found I had my AirPod in. I definitely don't want to keep it in all the time. I just want to use it when I'm actually using the phone. But I think these modern conveniences are actually really positive and super helpful. And the body is resilient. As long as you're giving the body a rest, as long as you're giving the body a break, then you're good to go. So let's talk about sympathetic and parasympathetic for a second. Now that we kind of have a general understanding with the body and how it operates and why it's so important to get into that alpha brainwave state, most people are walking around in a sympathetic nervous system response all day long. There's 3 things that happen automatically when you drift into that sympathetic nervous system response. Okay? Again, sympathetic associated with stressed and anxious. Parasympathetic associated with calm and relaxed. This automatically happens, by the way. You have no power over this whatsoever, okay? Now, sympathetic nervous system response, really, really important. I like to give the example of a saber-toothed tiger. How many people have saber-toothed tigers where they live? None of you. Okay, cool. Yeah, it's kind of an old thing, right? Everybody's like, oh, it's when you're getting chased by a saber-toothed tiger. Well, that doesn't happen. But a very real, I think, scenario is, what about, how many people have walked on the strip? You walk on the strip? Sometimes you feel a little bit of seedy energy behind you, or in front of you, or all around you, okay? Spidey sense starts to go off. That spidey sense is your sympathetic nervous system response. It is your fight or flight response. Now, sometimes it's justified. Sometimes there's a guy behind you or a gal behind you that wants to mug you or wants to do something, and you're picking up on the energy of that, and your nervous system is telling you, hey, get your eyes off your phone and start looking around, there's something going on. That's a good use of your sympathetic nervous system response, and I would tell you that that's something that's very natural, very positive, and it's being designed the way it is. God forbid something were to happen to you, and that person were to come up behind you, and you need to fight, or you need to run. You want the cortisol flowing through your bodies, you want the adrenaline flowing through your muscles, and you want to have the power to kick him in the balls and go, or whatever. She's like, yeah.
That is absolutely no joke. This morning I walked to go find breakfast, and there was a man who had a full clown mask on, or not clown, but it was a mask.
Probably COVID.
He had a machete in his back, and I was standing on the corner with my coffee, and I literally had to step out of the way and watch him because I was ready.
Welcome to Vegas. So look, right? So look,
Yes.
that is why we have the response, okay? That's why we have the sympathetic nervous system response. So here's 3 things that happen that I think are very, very important. On top of cortisol and adrenaline flowing through your body, that's the chemical cascade that happens when this happens. When you shift into sympathetic nervous system response, your brain, your body is in survival mode. It's literally like, I need to save this body, and I need to turn off everything else that's not focused on saving this body. It turns off your immune system. So when you get fearful, when you get scared, your immune system turns off. Probably not something so positive over the last 3 years, all right? Your body says, I don't need to fight off bacteria and infection right now. I just need to deal with whatever's in front of me, this clown with the machete and whatever else is going on behind that mask, okay? Second thing that happens, digestion turns off. Doesn't matter how organic, how clean, what supplements you're taking, the quality, liposomal, doesn't matter. Your brain says, I need to survive. I'm turning off my digestive tract. I'm no longer, it's the second most expensive energetic process in the body is digestion behind your brain and your mind. Okay, so brain says, I don't need to digest any of my food. I just need to run or fight. Third thing, which I think is rather comical, is turns off rational thinking. You don't have to be rational in a situation like that. It's pretty clear. I either need to assess the situation, I either fight, or I need to run, and that's really the only decision maker, which is why sometimes when you're in that situation, you might find your foot in the ball section of that person too quick, because you don't even think about it. You're just like, oh my God, you go, right? Okay, I love how that gets a laugh. Anyway. All right, so rational thinking's turned off. You're still making decisions, you're just not being rational about it. All of this is fine when it's a clown suit with a machete that's over there. All of this is not fine when that phone that you're videotaping me on right now that's over there is just out of reach and it's going off and you're driving and you're like, I wonder what that says. And it's really just your sister being like, hey, I was thinking about you, right? But we get in our head about what we should or could be doing, and all of a sudden we start to get stressed, we start to get anxious over nothing, right? Construction on the route, I'm running late. Oh man, I can't be late for Kate again. I'm always late. I don't like being late. The reality is you left too late, but now there's construction on your route and you're running behind, and instead of just sending Kate a nice text or a voice note or calling her and saying, hey, I'm gonna be 5 minutes late, we create the stress and anxiousness of being late, right? Or like I said before, family situations or children, or insert stressful trigger here. They're different for all of us, and they trigger that nervous system response. It's the same exact nervous system response because we only have 2, sympathetic or parasympathetic. It could be sitting in neurohormonal as well, but we're basically bouncing back and forth between these 2, sympathetic and parasympathetic. Guy with the machete, you want to be in that situation. taking a bad phone call or just getting some news, right? You don't want to be taking that situation. So this is why meditation is so important. Meditation resets your nervous system from sympathetic to parasympathetic. Using something like sound, light, frequency, electromagnetic stimulation, whatever it is, helps to bring your body back to that parasympathetic nervous system response, back into cool, calm, and collected. Here's the cool part. Since when you're in a sympathetic nervous system response, you are ill-equipped to handle just the regular day-to-day struggles. So if you wake up and part of your morning routine is to pick up your phone and watch the news, and now all of a sudden you're triggered, whatever the news might be, it doesn't have to be what's happening in the global scale, it can even be what's happening local. It could even be your sister sending you a text message or that thing that you talked about for 3 hours last night and you thought you settled and you thought you handled. It's not a true story, by the way. But you thought you handled it, you thought you took care of it, and now it's coming right back into your field again, and you're like, we just talked about this for 3 hours. Sympathetic nervous system response activated. Takes about 45 minutes if you're really good, but it can take as long as 4 hours to reset from sympathetic to parasympathetic. So that means no other stimuli happening for the next 4 hours. Your digestion's turned off, there goes that healthy breakfast. Your immune system's turned off. You're not rationally thinking or making decisions, even though you think you might be. So if you've got that big PTA meeting or you got like the big decision that you need to make that morning, you just got triggered, your nervous system is now done. Now, what can you do to fix it? You can wake up, get triggered, recognize you're triggered, drop into a meditative state, and in about 40, 45 minutes or so, even as quick as 15 minutes, those chemical cascades start to kick in that reset your body from sympathetic to parasympathetic. That start to bring your body that's out of balance back into balance. Does this start to make sense? See why this is so powerful and so important? All right, the breath is something that's absolutely incredible as well. Taking nice deep breaths with your diaphragm will help bring, I love how everybody just goes, yes, absolutely, will bring you into that calm and rested state. Literally 1 minute of breathing, deep breaths. I like a box breath personally. 4 count in, 4 count hold, 4 count out, 4 count hold. Want to do one together? Let's do one together. I think Tim's sleeping. Hold for 4. Exhale for 4. Hold for 4. Set a timer on your watch. Do that for 1 minute. You're meditating. It's that simple. People want to overcomplicate this. People want to talk about what you should or shouldn't be doing. People want to talk about what you should clear your mind. Just focus on your breath. Literally focus on your diaphragm going out for 4, hold for 4, down for 4, hold for 4. Do that for 1 minute and you'll reset your nervous system and help your body to reset from sympathetic to parasympathetic. Guys, gals, this is the most important thing for us to be doing day in and day out. When you're in a sympathetic nervous system response, you are ill-equipped to handle the day-to-day. You are only amplifying and making things worse and worse. What's the flip side? So you wake up, you get triggered by your sister or your mom or your aunt, uncle, dad, father, brother, whatever, because you're having that same conversation over and over again. And now you're back. But you've got a big decision to make and you know you don't want to be in this state. So you want to drop into that meditative state. So you do your box breathing, you do your thing, and now you're ready to rock and roll. That simple task of dropping back into a parasympathetic nervous system response gives you the tools to handle the day. And I'll give you a great example. When you're cool, calm, and collected, is there anything that can be thrown at you that razzle-dazzles you, except a trigger, of course, which we all know would trigger you back, right? But generally speaking, when you're in that parasympathetic, when you're cool, calm, and collected, happy-go-lucky, there's nothing that can throw you. There's traffic, you just roll down the windows, turn on the music, you're just chilling, right? Here's one of my favorite ones. You're at the food place and you're ordering and you're waiting online to order and the guy in front of you is just like, I don't know what to get. And you're just standing behind there and you got someplace to be and you're on just order your coffee, right? If you're cool, calm, and collected, you probably just take open your phone and you're like, this is cool, I'm just chilling, I'm gonna hang out, I'm gonna relax, and there they are. Look at the diva, I love it, right? So when you're calm and relaxed, anything could basically be thrown at you, and you're just cool with it. Same trigger in the morning minus the machete guy, but like you wake up and you're triggered, and then you get into that situation and now all of a sudden you're like, you might even just walk away. Like, oh, listen, I'm not even gonna drink my coffee today, right? So the difference is how we establish ourselves and how we can stay focused, grounded. Hi, honey. Oh. How you can stay focused and how you can stay driven, it changes everything with how we're gonna rock the day and how you're gonna deal with the same day-to-day struggles every single day. If you're gonna take one thing from this talk, remember this. When you're in a sympathetic nervous system response, you are ill-equipped to handle life. And you're just living life at a disadvantage. It's that simple. When you're in a parasympathetic nervous system response, think cool, calm, and collected. You got all the tools you need to handle everything that's being thrown at you. You're gonna make better decisions. You're gonna be more aware. You're gonna be more calm and relaxed. You're gonna be more focused and driven. You're gonna show up to be a better parent, a better spouse, a better friend, better employee, better boss, better leader. Whatever you need, you just kick ass at life when you're cool, calm, and collected. And we have these triggers throughout the day. We all have them. I have them, my wife has them, my daughter has them. When you're looking at me all scowly like that, we all have them. The key is how fast we bounce back and the tools that we keep in our tool shed to bounce back. We always have our breath with us. Raise your hand if you're breathing right now. Cool. Check that guy in the back. Right? We always have the breath, so that's simple. And then we have other tools. We have vibroacoustic technology that obviously we do. We have brain tap. We have beamers here, right? We have infrared saunas that are here. We have lots of different techniques that can help us to get back into that parasympathetic nervous system response. I got 10 minutes left. I'm happy to just open it up. If you guys got questions, we can talk about sleep if you want. Carol says yes. Do you guys have any questions? Anything that I touched on that I can dive deeper into? Does this make sense? Does it resonate with everybody? Really important stuff, right? Okay, let's talk about sleep. Not a whiteboard. Okay, so sleep. What can we do in 10 minutes in sleep? All right, so we sleep in 90-minute sleep cycles. Sleep, I love when people come up and they talk to me with my tech and they say, hey, can this help me sleep? And my question is, well, it depends on what issues you're having with sleep. Do you have trouble falling asleep? Do you have trouble staying asleep? Do you get up in the middle of the night because you have to go to the bathroom? Do you get up in the middle of the night because you have pets or animals or children, if you're co-sleeping, right? I got somebody who's like, yeah, my daughter kicks me in the face every night at 2 o'clock in the morning, and I'm like, my tech's not gonna help you with that, I'm sorry. Stop co-sleeping. The thing is, most of us are stuck in that beta brainwave. So we sleep in 90-minute sleep cycles, just kind of follow my head, it goes down into a trough and then it comes back up. From point to point is 90 minutes. And that's beta down into alpha, theta, delta. And then we hang in theta for a little while, and then we go back up into beta. If you've ever slept over the course of the night and you remember tossing and turning, not like tossing and turning all night, but like you like remember when you wake up that you like tossed and turned a couple times, or you wake up in the middle of the night, maybe you don't remember it in the morning, but you toss and turn. You're tossing and turning when you come back up into beta every 90 minutes. If you check the clock, and I don't recommend looking at a clock in the middle of the night, but if you check the clock, it'd be every 90 minutes, give or take. The whole objective is to string together as many sleep cycles as you can, which is why they say 8 hours of sleep, right? Really 9 hours of sleep gets you into that sleep cycle. So 1.5 is 3, 1.5, 4.5, then 6, then 7.5, then 9. If you set an alarm and that alarm goes off in the middle of a sleep cycle, you wake up groggy and not really feeling so good. It might take a shower and 4 cups of coffee for you to feel yourself. If you just woke up at the beginning of that sleep cycle, the end of the last complete sleep cycle, you would feel way better. And there are actually alarms that you can get on your phone that will track your sleep cycle based on your breath, not based on putting it underneath your pillow or anything like that. I don't recommend having electronics near you. But you can put it on your nightstand, and it can listen to your breathing, and from that extrapolate where your sleep cycle is, and you can set the alarm to go off up to 45 minutes before when your alarm is set at the top of your sleep cycle. That's ideal. Exactly. It's really important, right? Like understanding these sleep cycles and where we are. Sleep is just a perception of our conscious mind. I'll repeat that. Sleep is merely a perception of this conscious mind. To your brain, you're not asleep. Your brain is just in a different brainwave state. Alpha, theta, delta, gamma, right? When people have trouble sleeping, they're still stuck in that same brainwave, that same beta brainwave. So meditation, these tools, train your brain, again, reinforcing positive patterns of drifting in and out of beta, alpha, theta, delta, and back into theta, alpha, beta, gamma. Our brain is supposed to move in and out of these different brainwave states throughout the day and over the course of the night. If you're stuck in beta during the day, you're going to be stuck in beta at night. If you're watching television before you go to bed, the circadian rhythm is off, you're stuck in a beta brainwave. It's all correlated, and it all comes back to calming and relaxing your nervous system, giving your body the tools to move from beta into alpha, alpha into theta, theta into delta, delta into theta, and just moving in and out of these different brainwave states. Some other interesting parts of sleep, in that sleep cycle, as you're going down in the trough, it's stage 1, 2, 3, and 4, aptly named. And then stage 5 is theta, or REM sleep, rapid eye movement sleep. As you're drifting down, your body is preparing yourself for sleep. So in stage 1, 2, 3, and 4, your body is doing things that it needs to do to protect you while you sleep. This is really important. Remember I told you your brain cannot tell the difference between this reality, a visualization, or a dream. How many people have amazing dreams where they're super active, doing super things in different parts of the universe or this planet, whatever? Okay, I love that. Learning background, it's amazing. So, if your brain can't tell the difference between a dream and this reality, and you're on the Serengeti chasing down a lion, because that's what you do in your spare time, your legs are going to start moving. Because your brain can't tell the difference, and it controls your legs. So what happens in stage 1, 2, 3, and 4 is your brain actually prepares yourself for sleep. Turns off your senses, and turns off your motor skills. So you don't run right out of bed or jump off your whatever, right? There's people that sleepwalk. People that sleepwalk merely have a condition in their brain that isn't telling it what it needs to do, that it's going to sleep. So you're up and about, sleeping and walking at the same time because your motor skills didn't get turned off. All of that can be reprogrammed. All of that can be trained and changed so that your brain knows that it's time to sleep and to go into that stage 4, stage 5 of sleep with no motor skills. That deep delta brainwave state. Anybody have questions on that? Yeah.
In what state is when you are having the visions?
So that's rapid eye movement, REM sleep, and it's associated with a theta brainwave state. You can drop into theta if you're feeling with theta healing. Theta healing drops you into a theta state in seconds through a very simple meditation that you drop into. And when I drop into theta, I feel my eyes pacing left and right and back and forth. And you can do the same thing when you're sleeping as well. Yeah.
The sleep cycle that you spoke of, does that also have to do with how a person, the body's position that a person feels like they have to sleep in? Like, oh, I have to sleep on my stomach. I have to sleep on my side.
That's just training. It's just educating and teaching yourself, right? And it's typically extenuating circumstances that train us to do different things. You can teach yourself to sleep on your back, which, by the way, there's a chiropractor in the room. Best place to sleep and the best way to sleep is on your back. I'm a side sleeper. My wife is a side sleeper. We have body pillows. We toss and turn and throw pillows at each other all night long. It's really cute and fun. My mom sleeps on her stomach. Terrible for the neck if you sleep on your stomach because you're putting stress on this muscle and training it to sit that way, which is why sleeping on your back is ideal. Flat, no pillows. I don't know where pillows came from. Not ideal at all. But I'm a side sleeper, so I use an articulated pillow. Anyway, but yeah, it's just training. It's just teaching yourself. When you're absolutely exhausted, you'll pretty much sleep anywhere, right? So if you want to teach yourself how, stay up for 24 hours and then you'll sleep on your back. You'll train your brain and your body of how to rest in that position over time. I don't recommend it, but there are ways to teach and train it. Stimulate the brain to teach your brain to do the right things. Yeah.
So when we sleep, we go from beta to delta, is that right?
In a perfect world, yeah, you're moving in and out of those different brainwave states. There are different things that happen in each of these brainwave states. So beta, eyes open, processing the world around you. Alpha is kind of a daydreamy state. It's where kind of healing starts to begin. I think of alpha is like, it's where your brain goes to clean up its desk, right? Like, you've seen like my desk, if you looked at it in the middle of the day, there's stuff all over the place. But at the end of the day, I like to clean my desk, right? Before our crew comes through to clean my house, I stack everything, go to organized, and I sit down at the next day, and I feel so like energized, amped, and ready to go. Brain is, and your body is doing the same thing as it drifts into alpha, theta, and delta. And there's tons of sleep research that you can read on the web on these topics. You're welcome.
So it always goes in order, or it could jump from one to the...
It's a really good question. It has to go in order. It could jump quickly, but you're not going to jump from alpha, straight down into delta. Even with the brain tap that we use, it slows your brain down into delta. It doesn't just go from beta into delta. It can be very rapid. That can happen in 3 seconds, 10 seconds, 30 seconds, but generally speaking, you're moving into one and then moving back. Now, your brain can go from 0 to 60 just in its day-to-day. Right? So you can just perk up, or you have a thought or an idea, and a synapse starts to fire. And that can happen very rapidly and very quickly, but generally speaking, from a therapeutic standpoint, you want to be moving in and out of these.
Question?
Yeah.
So when we meditate, we're going from beta to gamma?
Not necessarily. Gamma is associated with higher states of consciousness. Gamma can actually be a very stimulated, very awake, and very, very stimulated brainwave state. The goal and the target is to get into that alpha brainwave state. So you want to move down and slow the brain down. That's why you want to slow down your breathing, you want to slow down your thought patterns, you want to relax into that alpha or theta brainwave state. Yeah?
So when I was 5 or 6 and living with my family in an apartment, apparently I was all over the apartment. I was sleepwalking constantly.
Yeah.
And then we moved, and that was the last I heard of it, although people can have conversations with me.
Same thing used to happen to me when I was a kid. So when I was a kid, I played junior Olympic volleyball, and we would travel, and the guys would all mess with me in my sleep. I have like old school video camera video of like them messing with me in my sleep completely, and I am completely out of it and completely engaged in what they're doing. Like they're in my dreams and I'm in there. It was just this weird, wild thing.
Yeah, I have zero memory anything.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's a wild thing. Interestingly enough is that it's very circumstantial, the energy in that house. Whatever you were exposed to at that age, you got to keep in mind that we are energetic bodies, and these bodies are constantly interacting with the world around us. It's really interesting. So me and my wife have a consulting company that sits above the work that I do at Harmony Interactive. And we focus on these 3 main environments at Gold Zoo Incorporated. What we put in our mouth, what we put on our skin, and what we allow to be kept in the air around us. And when we start working with somebody, we have them fill out a 7-day assessment. We call it an environmental assessment. And we're trying to get to these ideas and inputs, right? So where you are, so we literally have them set an alarm on their phone. Every hour for the next 7 days, I want you to fill out what you put in your mouth, whatever it was, the brand, the type, whatever you put in your mouth the last hour, what you put on your skin, so lipstick or beauty products, lotion, shampoo, whatever, and where you were sitting, like where was your body physically sitting. Because what we'll find and uncover from that is it's not always what you ate, it's not always what you put on your skin. Sometimes it's like, well, I see a pattern here. You're always sitting underneath this same tree. Let's go check out this tree. And on the other side of a tree is, a lot of electromagnetic energy or a power station or pollution or whatever. Where you always sit in front of this window, and this window has an old air conditioning unit that's blowing, and, right? Like, we start to pick up on these energetic things. Or we go knock on the neighbor upstairs. I lived in Manhattan for years. One cool thing about Manhattan is there's always somebody above you, below you, and around you. And your auric field is interacting with them. So you don't know what's going on. 8-foot ceilings, right? And you got a 9-foot aura, right? So what happens to our aura in these big cities is it starts to retract, right? Because it doesn't want to interfere with all the chaos that's around it, so it retracts sometimes to 3 feet or less. But if there's something chaotic going on upstairs, we want to make sure that we're aware of that. And that could be why you were sleepwalking.
That's really interesting, because where I lived until I was 7 was in a railroad apartment in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
And we moved to so that was above and below and all around us.
Yeah.
And where we moved to was Berkeley, California, where, where.
Stark difference. I did the same
A
thing.
couple spaces were just, nobody above us, nobody below us.
So think of a restless, energetic body that just can't sleep because of whatever is going on the other side of those walls, right?
Yeah, it was actually the time I was molested.
Cool. I'm at my time. I don't want to cut you off. We can certainly chat, and I'll be in the booth all day today until about 4 o'clock. And thank you very much. In Harmony Interactive.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Oh, I agree.
How do we stop going live? Yeah, now. Bye, everybody. Bye, everybody. Share. Harmony, come here. Hi. Oh, that's like you having fun today? Well, you're on the shifts right now. Hi, honey. Ooh, that's a new stuff. It's a patch. It's an energetic patch. Help Daddy feel his best. No, I think it's good. Yeah, I do. Hi, Eddie. I love you. Bye. You want to come up? You want to come up? I just doing some work. Cool. Hey, Harmony, let's grab some stuff. Want to grab some stuff for me? Oh, you got it. It's amazing. Tim, great. Dude. Yeah. Harmony, you say hi to Tim? Feel good. Hi, I'm Tim. Say hi, Tim. Just wait. Okay. We'll warm up. Harmony, your sticker. Let's go back to the booth. All right.
You don't have to do anything else here.
No, I'm done. I love you. I love you.
I can never do it. Yeah, I am very, like mouth. I have to say what's then I tell you when they're putting together, now it's like mystery, and I'm like, can't do it. And then you try to like figure out what the taste is. You already know what it's gonna taste like, right? But then you're like, wow. So it's trippy. It's cool though. I mean, I'll do it like, but like with someone else, there's too much. You know what I'm saying? You know what I feel.
No. No, Tim, this is Tim. Tim's one of our longest fulfillers. Like 5 minutes. Great. Welcome aboard. Let's go hang aboard. That's all right.
Hello, beautiful. I love your outfit. Is that bunnies? Bunnies, your bunnies. I love it. More importantly, for you, and then I finally saw you. I took notes too. I didn't like how it was working. I know. Oh, no, you didn't just look at it. That's so great. I was working right now where you were. Yes. So I'm glad that you said it. I was so glad that you said to slow down because I was thinking that you found me.
Someone I said I'd call back right after the talk. Talk is still going.
Tomorrow. I know that for a fact. That is. I'm going to the one at 2 and tried that thing. I mean, things were falling out of my ear. Like, my ear had been, she was like, can I have you as a testimony? I was like, absolutely. Because yesterday when I came in, I had such physical pain. I had such a bad headache. Dr. Lori? 2 o'clock.
And that's really interesting because I think that.
I'll see you. Okay, Miss Carol. Okay, yeah, I'm Shakira.
Shakira.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
It's
Shakira.
nice meeting you. I'll see you at 2. Okay. Okay.
What you just talked about with your experience totally aligns with this whole idea about when my dream said it has to do with the toxicity in your body.
Yes.
So when you said all the stuff came out of your body, like, there's this whole,
Yes.
lessening of the toxicity of your body
Yes.
that experience this pain. And that is one of my main, I have 3 main indicators right now. I'm working primarily with an acupuncturist who is known to heal. And yes, absolutely. And so every day that he sees me every 2 weeks, which is a phenomenal gauge for me because it means I'm basically okay. I mean, I imagine him seeing me twice a week if I really wasn't okay. So, and he always asks me about migraines, which I have had a history of migraines. And for the last 2 months in his care, I have not had migraines. I've had little twinges and I'm like, okay, time to hydrate, time to, and I have to be super intentional about my eating right now. Right. So I'm just eating like vegetables and kombucha and I mean I had a fight with the sushi guy last night because he wanted to put rice on my sushi, and I'm like, dude, you have 3 items on the menu where there's no rice, so why are you acting so foreign? You could make it look really good, really, abundant, and not have to have rice on it, He was young, fresh, and it was funny, as I walked out, we both looked at each other. I should be like, grassy, But,
So you looked at each other, meaning like you both had words with your eyes?
I'm like, dude, that was so necessary. And he was like, my place. I mean, ultimately, I called him out and I said, I'm done. I'm not accepting this. You can come up with that's rational, you want to come up with, and, it's unacceptable. And I felt good about that, but I was sitting with the person, I'm like, oh my God, don't let every meal be a fight, It's like, don't eat in peace, And then, and what I heard this morning was, well, you don't want every meal to be a fight, but you're reminding me of the commitment one has to make.
What does that mean?
Well, she's now allowed herself to win. And she's watching me fight for, I can only
Wait, who's she?
Oh, the gal I'm traveling.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah, thank you for the context.
Is it okay?
Yeah,
Okay.
And she's like,
Who's our speaker?
somebody's coming in probably at like 11 or something. I mean, 1 or something now. It's probably
Oh,
like
where did he
lunchtime.
go?
Oh, he's back to his booth.
Craig, the one who was just here?
Yeah.
Oh, he's back at his booth?
Is it over already?
Oh, yes, ma'am. He was here from 11:15 to just now. He just ended.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm on the wrong. Oh, it says to 12:30, but that might not be right.
Okay, I think
No,
he
what
came
time is it right now?
It's 12:10.
Oh, yeah, he was here at 11:15-ish.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to hear him, and I was eating.
Yes, yeah, he was very good, but I mean, over at the booth, he was just talking about sleep cycles and the differences between sympathetic and parasympathetic, the nervous system, and how sympathetic, we are just not in our rational minds and things like that, and how to get to the parasympathetic and breathing
Can you
and stuff.
just stand up there and tell me all that stuff?
Could I? I could because I took the notes, so I probably could. But he has the table, he and his wife are there, and they have the table, and what he was saying that they do over at his booth is there is some type of scan or something like that where that bed that he has can bring you to different states, brainwave states.
Okay, is
So-
he by the lady who does the blood, live blood analysis?
I think so, I'm not sure. I'm not sure who that lady is, but he's in the far back off to the left side,
Got it.
and he's the one with the beds.
That's him. The lady who does the blood is really, really good.
Okay.
Did you give her money?
What?
Did you pay her?
Oh, yeah. We have been doing live blood analysis, my husband and I, since 2017. And so we always, every year, do that to take a look at our blood. That's like a doctor, right? What's wrong with your blood is what's going on in your blood. Well, a few months ago, we got shedded on by recently boosted people because we're not vaccinated. And they were in our car, us being so naive not to even think about it, being shedding on us. We went and took them to a play. 2 ladies didn't know that they were recently vaccinated, but we knew they were vaccinated. They boosters this course. And so after we did that, and we sat with them at a little tiny table, we went for our checkup, like a blood thing. Oh my God.
Go to the guy who's got the lasers, because he's got
I've
a
got
whole
one of those.
oral thing. He's got an oral thing where it's a spray and a paste that helps offset that whole.
Well, it's all gone now, but we went through a month of detoxing. So that is so real. My blood was filled with blood clots, which I have never had a blood clot in my life. Blood clots, nanobot robots that were building things. They had building structures all over in my blood. This is a 1 month time period, okay? That they had octagon structures. They had antennas with all these eggs hanging off of them.
Yes.
There was like the kind, I don't know if you've ever seen it on TV, there's this, they call it an octopus kind, and they reach out and grab things. There was one of those in there. Oh, it was so creepy. It was just like reaching out.
So so it was identifiable, but how did you clear it? How did you do
Okay,
the detox?
the lady has a protocol that she gives people, but I wasn't able to do a protocol because it made me throw up and stay on the toilet all day. And I said, I'm not doing that protocol. So then I heard about a product called MMS, which is chlorine dioxide, which is what Trump, when he was doing that, Trump was doing his meetings, he said chlorine dioxide, and then all the mainstream media said, Trump said drink bleach, it already killed somebody. It was not bleach.
No, I knew that. But it was MMS, you said?
It's chlorine dioxide.
Oh, chlorine dioxide.
And it's mixture with another, it's 2 bottles and you mix it together, $32, it'll last you for years. I mean, it's so.
Okay, I've got to get that.
Chlorine dioxide. So I did that protocol, plus went to the whole, I have a naturopath. He gave me 2, one thing for cardio for breaking up clots, in your body.
Yeah.
And he gave me serapeptes, I think is what it was called, for breaking up things. So I had those 2 things, MMS, but I stayed on MMS. And I just got the blood done to see if we've had any more shedding on us. Because we're around vaccinated people all the time.
Right.
Well, let me tell you, we're never getting in a car again with vaccinated. We got sick right away, which we had never been sick during COVID. We are not sick people. Knew my husband for 30 years. Nothing else he ever had. He got, from a vaccinated person, brought a variant to us.
For that particular.
Yes, so we got sick because we had tainted blood. Then he gets pneumonia. This is a big deal. I had a blood vessel break in my eye from those clots. Had to have a shot in my eye. This is a thing that goes on and on.
Yeah.
And
no, I believe that too.
It is true.
So I believe that too. So, but thank you for that information.